Hi everyone, I'm Bhanu. I'm VP Marketing for a SaaS business called Klipboard. It's a £1 billion business headquartered in the UK, but 55,000 global customers. We do ERP, GMS, rental management, field service, so much more. I took all of the trending keywords, AEO, MCP, Claude Code, and just smashed it in my title. I'm just going to talk about WordPress today. No, I'm kidding. So a raise of hands, who here uses Claude? Okay, keep your hands up if you use Claude Code. Keep your hands up if you use MCP servers or have used that in the past. Cool? Perfect, thank you. Nice. We heard quite a lot about AEO today and how, it's been eating up SEO. Some people say SEO is dead. I mean, guys said it right. It's like the foundation is still the SEO, and it's right, but it is definitely evoluting. The evolution is there, which we're calling AEO. And same is happening to APIs, and we're doing with MCPs. So MCP, Model Context Protocol, designed by Anthropic, creator of Claude, and then passed on to the Linux Foundation as a donation, as an open source. I'll just give you practical tips that you can take in on Monday and just go with it, and hopefully that's useful. So I'll start with the AEO, and 6 kind of like AEO moves you need to be making ASAP. So first is, almost like 71% of the websites and like news sites blocked some of the AE engines like GPT-bot and OpenAI search bot. So don't block them, because LLMS, TXT, as Google would say, doesn't really matter, but it does matter. That's why Webflow has it inbuilt. And you need to be unblocking all of that. If you still want to block for non-training purposes, you can do that, but don't block all of the AI bots. Second is FCP, which is first contextual paint, the speed your site loads, where Webflow is absolutely optimizing, really matters. Like, you can see the difference between pages that actually load in less than half a second, like the FCP point of view, and pages which load more than a second have less citations. So definitely focus on that as well. Ear stamping your URL slugs really matters. So that sends a signal to AEs that it's a fresh content. And of course, getting on G2, Capterra, even if you don't have a website, does quite a lot to you as a brand. Plus, refreshing pages for AEO is more frequent than it is for SEO. That is a massive difference, and the window is like 60 days or so. And the last one is localize. We at Klipboard use localize, to go into multiple markets, and Al and Naomi here definitely talk to them if you are thinking into going into multiple markets. It does so much for you in the AEO for local space, and that is a land grab, because not a lot of websites are actually doing localization, not just translation, but true localization, to be able to go into the markets, but also start ranking in ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude. So 6 quick tips in terms of like you need to be making ASAP, and these are like quick fixes. Same with MCP, you need to be making 6 moves that you can use. So a lot of the tech stack that you use today, like Webflow, HubSpot, Salesforce, they would all have MCPs. MCPs is basically a connector that lets you connect your platform to your AI engine. So if you're using ChatGPT, if you're using Claude, Perplexity, whatever that is, you can connect an MCP quite easily. It's an open protocol. Webflow has one, a brilliant one, and they've improved it even more in the last couple of months. So definitely leverage that. Even Localize has one. Localize didn't know that they had one a few months ago, but their developer actually open sourced it, which is a good one. Use that. And if you want to have access to 17,000 plus different MCPs, you can go to Composio. It's kind of like a hack to really get things connected quickly rather than searching for MCPs, and there's like different open source ones. You can also build your own MCP in a weekend. Actually, you can build one in 2 minutes. You can just ask Claude to build you an MCP, and it's going to build you an MCP, but you need to be knowing what you want to build, and it's going to give that code to you that you can actually pass on to your teams or your colleagues to be able to repurpose a skill or an MCP. MCP servers compose. What does that mean? It means basically it's a skill. It can be invoked. If you do /skill into Claude Code, literally a trailing slash, and you do ABM page, an example, it's a skill that you have in your code repository. you can actually reuse it and pass it on to your team as well. If you're into enterprise, I don't think many people here are enterprise. Read-only MCPs are a quick hack to go into compliance because compliance doesn't like things writing into the CRM directly, so you can do read-only. And yeah, this one's my favorite. You can have a cron job, essentially a routine with MCPs. So you can tell your Claude Code or ChatGPT to be able to do certain things every day using multiple MCPs. So for example, do competitive intel, competitive research into what they have been posting about, and look into your CRM for existing deals or stalling pipeline and actually give you a digest in the morning. You can easily do that. So there's a lot of different things you can do with MCP. But I want to talk about something much more diverse and about how AI is kind of like, especially Claude Code and building these connections is shifting the interfaces and the dashboards and the lack of usage of dashboards now. And everything is shifting towards model calling rather than clicking. So we're clicking less, but we're calling the models more and more. All of these platforms that you see today, they were built to click here, click there, do this, do that. They all have a place, but the platform is staying, but the interface is something that's evolving. And essentially, what that means is you are, for example, in HubSpot, if you use HubSpot Marketing Automation Platform, you would go into that, pull a report. If you're already a user, you would already know how much time it takes you to filter down so many things to get like a single answer. Whereas if you have the HubSpot MCP, quick question to Claude Code or ChatGPT, you have the answer instantly, 15 seconds, 20 seconds max, and you can act on that as well. So you can see a lot of different vendors do have MCPs, some named here. Just skip that. But this is kind of like what my stack looks like. There's probably 20 more, but the ones that I'm highlighting is that we can connect every single thing from a creative point of view, from my emails, from my calendar, from my team calendar, from my events, our competitor research, our Notion pages, creative with Hicksfield or Recraft to be able to create ads at scale. Granola for meeting transcripts, or you can use Copilot for that as well if you're in that space. Once you do connect it all, your AI certainly just gets more powerful because everything is in context. And what the death of dashboards or interface kind of means is basically for platforms, the pricing has to stretch because today most of the platforms are not charging agents as they charge humans. So we will see an evolution of this pricing model as well, where platforms will start charging how agents actually use the platform rather than how humans use the platform or how many users use the platform. The next one is that if anyone can do this, the platform lock-in gets really, really difficult. So for the platform, it's kind of like a two-pronged approach where you want to enable more, like a better user experience, but at the same time, you want to lock that client in. At the end of it, the defensible moat for these platforms become data and not just the UI. So UI, now it's pretty easy to build, almost zero cost, but that's why this evolution is happening. Webflow did a good move. They actually had a good MCP, really good quality in terms of what you can do with it. The designer, of course, stays with the humans because you want to design. As an agency or a designer, but at the same time, for the CMS, if you want to publish something, post something, or use an existing component system, it's pretty easy to do that within Claude today. So when you go back home, what do you do on Monday? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can, of course, take a look at your existing vendor, existing platform, tech stacks, and start searching for their MCPs and start using them. And you will see a massive difference in terms of like how the user is kind of changing, right? So you can certainly do that. But at the same time, Claude Code, GPT 5.5, Codex, they're allowing you to build your own tools. So building is something you can do on your own as well. And I'll get to more building about what things you should be building and what things you probably shouldn't be building. This is where you can, of course, save costs for the smaller tools that you use, but at the same time, really enable yourselves to be flexible enough to carry your own tech data and just configuration wherever you want to do. What do you need? This is what you need. You need skills, not skills as in tech. It's a technical word for things that you can deploy in your AI models, callable by slash, and then your skill name. So you can create skills just like MCP, and you can also reuse someone else's skills. There's a website called skills.sh, as in Sierra Hotel. Do go over there. There's like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands different skills for front-end design, back-end design, security reviews, that you can literally just copy a single line and install it in your Claude Code. That basically gives you superpowers. There's actually a skill called superpowers, and do use that. Another skill that I would recommend for the next one, which is multi-agent handovers, is called GSD, as in get shit done. It's pretty cool. They actually renamed it to get stuff done, but I like the name get shit done. What it allows you to do is, instead of just one prompting everything, so like, for example, you want to create something, could be an email copy, could be a SaaS platform, right, within AI. Rather than single prompt or single generation of things and iterating on top of one prompt after one, you actually use multiple agents and like an AI council of agents to be able to do multiple things. So one agent's going to do your research, the other one's going to do your planning, the third one's going to do the execution, just giving an example. And you can run that at scale. And you can have sub-agents below that, and you can have an agent manager on top of that, and they're all AI, and they're talking to each other. I mean, 6 months ago, the capability of agents talking to each other wasn't really possible. Now it is, and it's good. GSD, get it? It's going to be a slow process when GSD asks you for a question, but that is a good thing, because rather than you just telling them, create me an ABM page that looks like this, or create me a platform that does this, it's going to ask you questions like, hey, what do you think about these features? Do you want these features? Because it's going to research on the web and see what that environment looks like and what it's going to do for you. Based on the questions you answer, it's going to create a plan for you. And then the next agent handover takes place. It's going to start planning in phases, and you will have an execution plan by phases as well. So definitely do that. Third is goal. It's a new feature that Claude copied from ChatGPT 2 weeks ago. Essentially, /goal is essentially a skill, because it's got a slash, that allows ChatGPT or Claude to be able to give them like a loop. So it's an essential skill to be able to do something continuously until a condition is met. So you have a goal, /goal, carry on building this landing page until my brand voice is met, or my brand voice is the same as this landing page. So it's going to start writing a copy, and there's going to be sub-agents that will come in time, and then check the brand copy. It's like, oh no, it doesn't look good. I'm going to rewrite it, and I'm going to rewrite it. And you can do that not just for a small thing like that, but actually building a full platform. And this was essentially an open source thing called Ralph Loop, and then they just took it and did something with, like a skill. So do leverage /goal. It's only available in the latest model. So if you haven't updated your Claude Code or ChatGPT on Codex, you won't be able to see that. The last one is really important, which is memory and context. Because without memory and without context, your AI chatbot is shit. It's not going to give you good outputs. It will not give you, it will hallucinate quite a lot. So the way to tackle that is with context and memory. And how you do that is with a single technology called Markdown format. It's called MD. So you can see like there's a Claude.md, or it can be anything.md file that your AI can refer to at any time. And this can be Claude.md. I mean, quick tip, if you don't know how to create Markdown files, you ask Claude, can you create a Markdown file for me for this one that I can refer in this project moving forward? And this can be a brand voice. This can be your things you don't want to say in your copy, or you don't want to do in that particular tech stack. This could be your competitor research. This could be your existing customers' data, or testimonials, let's say, that you want to refer on time to time within your existing projects. And what this does is it creates a lot of different MD files in that project, and allows Claude to have access to them all the time, rather than hallucinating on, I'm just assuming this is your customer, I'm going to make shit up. It's actually going to look at those MD files and refer the customer testimonials rather than just, making it up. I did all of that and actually built a content engine for Klipboard, which is essentially, helping our copywriters create content at scale. And so our content managers are not just copywriters; they can strategize and be creative. And how I did that is, I took our knowledge base of a lot of different PDFs, brochures. It's actually 162, so I mistyped. Actually, Claude mistyped, so I'm just going to blame Claude for that. 162 knowledge base items, and then it has brand rules, which had our customer testimonials, which had all of our product information. Some of them even had our customer comms. Basically, telling Claude to understand our tone of voice and the challenges and pain points. Then I used something called a RAG model, which is retrieve, augment, generate. Essentially, that's a way to, well, someone touched upon vector databases. This is exactly it. You're essentially creating like a guardrail system around Claude and telling it that do not go out of this. This is where you retrieve all the information before you start generating. You augment it after that, and you just start generating after that. Otherwise, it's just going to go out in the web. It will search for some testimonials that are out there in the wild and start coding them, and you don't want that. If your testimonials are great, that's fine, but if you're not, it can be a problem. And then generate, which I just talked about, and then of course having that human in the loop, because you can't just trust every single piece of content that's coming out of Claude right out of the gate. And you want to have a 10% process at the end that a human can come in, approve the workflow, it's ready to go. And then publish. You can connect your MCP at the end, and that's what I did. And start publishing content directly in our CMS, in our email platforms, and sales decks, and everything like that. And we built the Klipboard content engine, which essentially, it's a part of my design, but essentially that knowledge base, going into the different kind of content management systems that we can, content systems that we can build. It knows our voice rules, what to say, what not to say. It knows our industry, our products, every single thing. It basically kind of like an AirOps, but the platform AirOps, but built for ourselves for free. Well, $20 in tokens cost. So it was good. And it generates really high quality content. And we take this, we put it in localize, we localize that in local languages, starts ranking for AEO. It just works wonders. And now we can create sales battle cards at scale. We can create feature notes, release notes for our technical product teams, and so much more directly from this inbuilt homegrown engine. Quick raise of hands again. If you have thought of vibe coding your CMS. Don't do that. Do not vibe code your CMS. You can vibe code quite a lot of different things. You can vibe code internal tools like this, content engine, ABM pages, brand voice, all of these different skills and MCPs. What you don't want to vibe code, you can't vibe code is, securities, AEO citation tracking, for example. It's the editable feature that's scalable and secure and collaborative enough as we are today, and of course all of the compliance issues that come with it, right? So this is where I draw the line in terms of like what I should be vibe coding, especially in an enterprise, and what I shouldn't be. As I said, Webflow, for example, does have MCPs, does have AEO, so definitely leverage all of that. Use Claude Code to really build the engine, but use Webflow as the runway, is what I would say. And at the end, agents can do 80% of the work. They can do the volume, but we still do the taste. If you send it a photo and say, like, which jacket's going to look good, it's very subjective. That's the taste. That's what you are here for. So definitely don't confuse the two. It compresses in terms of like what you want to do, in terms of skills. So what took me 2 weeks before now takes me 2 minutes, of course. All I want to say is that at the end of the day, platform doesn't go away, but the clicks do. The interface is evolving, and your next marketing hire could actually be a protocol rather than literally just a team of 50 more people. I've left a kit for you all. You can scan this code, take these marketing skills, and repurpose in your ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. And hope you have fun with it. Thank you so much.